What if a country could be both ancient and futuristic, serene and electrifying, small enough to feel intimate, yet vast enough to hold mountains, islands, and endless coastlines? In this video, we're uncovering South Korea like few travelers ever see it. From volcanic islands kissed by the sea to highlands where mist shrouds granite peaks. We'll explore parts of the country where nature and culture intertwine, and where every corner tells a story of a land constantly evolving while holding fast to its soul. By the end of this video, you'll see that South Korea is more than a destination. It's an experience. The scent of green tea fields, the rhythm of city streets, the quiet hum of life by a seaside temple. And you might find yourself daydreaming of visiting this timeless land, even if only for a fleeting moment. But what kind of place can hold dormant volcanoes and neon-lit towers, fishing villages and modern subways, ancient palaces and bustling harbours, all within a single peninsula? A place where contrasts don't clash but coexist. There are places where time moves forward, and then there are places where time flows both ways. South Korea is one of them. A country where history and innovation share the same streets. South Korea lives in that delicate space between what was and what's yet to come. In the quiet of dawn, temple bells roll across mist-covered valleys. By midday, those same valleys reflect the glow of digital billboards, humming to the rhythm of a city that never stands still. Here, the past doesn't fade, but instead breathes alongside the future. Stone pagodas watch over glass towers. Monks in saffron robes walk beneath neon lights. And through it all, the same wind moves from mountain peaks to city streets, carrying centuries of memory. In South Korea, contrasts don't collide. They coexist perfectly, like ink and paper. It's a nation in motion, yet deeply still. But to understand Korea's quiet strength, we must leave the cities behind and listen to the voice of the land itself. That voice begins with Jeju Island. A world sculpted by fire and water long before the modern nation rose around it. Born of volcanic eruptions millions of years ago, Jeju's landscape is both rugged and poetic. Craters and cliffs carve the coastline, while hardened lava fields stretch across rolling plateaus. At its center rises Halasan, Korea's tallest mountain, a dormant volcano that shifts through the seasons. Spring blankets its slopes with pink azaleas. Summer deepens the forest green. Autumn sets fire to the trees with red and gold, and winter dusts the ridges in pristine snow. The surrounding plains are dotted with tangerine orchards and terraced green tea fields, divided by black volcanic stone walls that have stood for centuries. Fisherwomen, known as the Hanok, descend into the sea, their breath brief and rhythmic, as if echoing the heartbeat of the ocean itself. Far to the north, the Seoul Mountains drift in and out of mist, their granite peaks shaped by wind and prayer. Bells from mountain temples ripple through the air, mingling with the rustle of pines in perfect harmony with earth and spirit. And in Busan, the world softens into green. Hills roll endlessly, painted in the glow of morning dew. The scent of tea leaves rises with the fog, carrying a promise of calm that touches everyone who walks these fields. Here, nature is not just a backdrop. Every mountain path leads to something more. and every breeze seems to whisper, "Slow down and remember where you came from." But just as the heart of Korea beats in its mountains, landscapes, and orchards, its soul flows in the temples, whispering the stories of those who've called this land home for centuries. And it's in these sacred spaces that Korea's deepest traditions come into focus. In Korea, tradition lives on like never before. You feel it in Gwangju, once the capital of the ancient Silla kingdom. Where the Bulguksa temple stands as a masterpiece of Buddhist artistry. Its stone pagodas and wooden halls have withstood war, fire, and time itself. At sunrise, golden light spills over the temple's tiled roofs, and the sound of chanting monks rolls through the valley, a reminder that faith here is not only sacred, but enduring. Each beam, each brushstroke carries the weight of centuries. The architecture isn't just beautiful, but also symbolic. The bridges represent the path from the human world to enlightenment, while lotus carvings whisper of purity and rebirth. Travel north to Seoul, and you'll find tradition nestled within modernity at Bukchon Hanok village. Between the skyscrapers and bustling avenues lies hundreds of Hanok, traditional wooden houses with tiled roofs and paper-panelled doors. Built during the Joseon dynasty, their carved lines and open courtyards were designed to harmonize with the wind, sunlight, and seasons. Walk these narrow lanes, and you'll hear the faint creak of wood, the quiet laughter from a family home, the rustle of hanbok skirts as visitors pose for photos. In every corner, you sense a bridge between Old Seoul and New Seoul, sharing the same skyline. Across the country, the rhythm of heritage continues in tea ceremonies that slow the world to a gentle pace, where each movement is a gesture of mindfulness. In calligraphy studios where the ink flows like meditation, preserving both art and patience. And in traditional markets like Gwangjang or Tanging, where vendors have stood behind the same stalls for decades, serving tteokbokki, hotdog, and handmade hanbok fabrics. To walk through these places is to touch the pulse of an older world that still beats strong. Korea's heritage isn't locked away, it's alive, breathing in every sound, every scent, every quiet moment of devotion. But beyond the courtyards and temple bells, Korea's story continues faster and brighter in the cities that never sleep. Here, the country's pulse quickens, leading us into the next chapter. In Seoul, the story of tradition and progress collides at every turn. At dawn, guards in vibrant robes perform the changing of the guard ceremony at Gyeongbokgung Palace, a royal complex built in 1395 by the Joseon kings. Beyond its gates rise glass towers and LED screens, symbols of a city that has reinvented itself without erasing its roots. By day, Insadong bursts with art galleries, street food stalls, and antique shops selling brushes and scrolls once used by scholars. By night, the pole shifts to Gangnam, where lights shimmer on skyscrapers, and music spills from cafes and rooftop lounges. Beneath the glimmer, there's an intense hunger to create, to innovate, to move forward without pause. In Hongdae, Seoul's youth scene thrives. Buskers sing on corners, graffiti blooms across walls, and students spill into late-night art bars. It's chaotic, passionate, and deeply human. Further south lies Busan, Korea's great port city and gateway to the sea. Here, the scent of salt and grilled fish fills Jigaochi Market, where generations of women have worked as vendors, shouting prices above the crash of waves. Fishermen haul in their catch at dawn, and by morning the stalls overflow with octopus, crab, and sea bream, living proof of Busan's enduring spirit. Step outside, and the city opens like a blooming rose. Sleek towers rising over Haeundae Beach, the longest in Korea. At night, Gwanghwamun Bridge arcs across the bay in a ribbon of light, its reflection shimmering on the water below. Cafes buzz with conversation, and the soft crash of the tide blends with the sound of life unfolding. Korea's cities hum with ambition, invention, and heart. They are growing, breathing, evolving, and yet always aware of the traditions beneath their foundations. Old palaces cast shadows on digital dreams, and somehow, in that glow, they both still belong. But behind the rhythm of the cities and the silence of the temples lies the true heartbeat of Korea, its people. And it's here that the story becomes most personal. At the heart of Korea's beauty are not just its temples or towers, but its people. Faces that carry centuries of resilience. Hands that shape the ordinary into something sacred. In the countryside, artisans still work the way their ancestors did, hammering metal into celadon green pottery, weaving silk that gleams under the morning light. Each creation is more than craft, it's continuity, a living echo of those who came before. By the sea, fishermen cast their nets at dawn. Nearby, Haeundae divers emerge from the water, faces weathered by years of tides and wind, yet glowing with pride. Their labor isn't just survival, but devotion to a rhythm older than memory. In mountain temples, monks sweep courtyards before sunrise, their robes swaying with every measured step. In the cities, life beats to another kind of pulse. Dancers rehearse under subway bridges, their movements a blend of K-pop precision and personal expression, pure art born from discipline, passion, and community. It's in a smile shared over street food, a quiet bow at dawn, a melody played on a traditional kayagum. These are the details that define Korea, small gestures that say more than words ever could. This is the Korea that lives beyond guidebooks, the Korea that lives in people, in their warmth, their rhythm, their relentless drive to honor the past while creating tomorrow. And as the journey fades, you begin to understand South Korea isn't just a place to visit. It's a landscape of opposites that somehow fit together, like poetry written in two languages. Which corner of Korea would you explore first? The islands, the mountains, the temples, or the city streets? Don't forget to subscribe for more adventurous journeys across the world. See you in the next one.